This movie tells a story about 5 assassins aboard a fast-moving bullet train. Later, they find out that their missions have something in common. At first, this movie is a fantastic action movie. Unfortunately, it becomes jumbled, tedious, and repetitive sooner than later. The movie has plenty of famous co-stars, but ultimately has little substance or imagination as an action comedy. It over-relies on too many similar gags until it all becomes very dull and obnoxious. The approach is fun at first, but increasingly becomes irritating as the plot grows more outrageous. It creates an inconsistent tone where the humor pushes itself too far. The film starts off incredibly clunky as it has to introduce many seemingly disconnected characters in a convoluted storyline. The movie removes a lot of the intrigue and personality that's in the novel and substitutes it with an emphasis on staging scenes that are supposed to be outrageously violent. It's very cluttered with sloppily edited characters and plot digression that don't necessarily serve the story very well. The narrative is erratic, including frequent digressions into edited montage backstories for side characters we're not all that invested in. Juggling this many characters and plot lines and complications requires a real narrative discipline, which is a problem because there's no real internal logic to what happens on screen. The characters come across as very hollow, as none of the characters remotely resembles actual human beings. It's not a good thing because viewers will have a hard time connecting with most of these characters. The plot is also uninvolving as there's no real mystery in the story that will keep people guessing. Its contorted plotting and one-note characters get real tedious real fast. The movie is often trying hard to be cool. This self-conscious approach proves to be a failure as it's really cringy. Not all the jokes land successfully. For every joke that lands, there might be 2 or more which don't. In terms of the action, the movie does a serviceable job staging dynamic fights in the train's tight compartments with bullet-bladed weapons and weaponized use of anything else at hand. But for a movie with so much physicality and punishment, there's an inertia about the whole thing. We don't care about who gets pounded to a pulp or shot to pieces because there are no characters to root for. These well-crafted fight scenes are sadly surrounded by so much other nonsense. The action scenes are very energetic. Unfortunately, after a while, the action starts to look stale and formulaic. It proves that good violent action scenes alone are not enough to make a good action flick. Overall, this movie is not really worth your theater experience. Just wait on your streaming service.